Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And welcome back to the top 100. And today we're going through the top 20 to 11.
Yes!
This is the top 20 of all time 2024 edition.
Yeah, because it might change.
Yes.
Like in later years, when we do this next time, it won't be exactly the same list. But we have to say, like, I'm not like spoiling anything, but usually when we get to like the top 20 and top 10, it's harder for things to move. Like it's harder, even though we have had things on this list that dropped 90 spaces, it's harder for these to move. There are changes, so if you like saw this 2 years ago and think like, I don't need to see this now, you do.
Yeah, you do.
And also we have evolved.
Changes.
We are different human beings now.
Yes.
Yes.
My name is not Sunniva anymore.
It's Snuniva.
No, it's Cinema.
Cinema, yes. And I'm JJ. Jake Gyllenhaal. That's my new name.
Cool.
Bye. Okay, board games top 20 time. I'm super excited and I cannot wait. You are the beginner.
Yes.
I am the ender of things and you will start. Go.
My number 20 has fallen 10 spaces, so it was in my top 10 last time, and that is Detective: A Modern Crime board game.
Wow.
You've had this on your list already, and
yes.
It's such an amazing experience. Like the story that we were in and explored, and we really felt like TV star
CSI.
detectives.
Yes.
Like writing things like these lines between the people and the potential murder weapons and all the stuff. And I can't go back and play it again, but the experience, it's just such a fun memory, and I really hold it very high in regards of like a storytelling game.
It's going to be interesting to see if it continues to fall or if it finds a place and kind of lands there. For me, it did fall a bit, I think, this year as well. So it's going to be interesting. My number 20 was my number 5 last time.
Oh,
so
such
it's
a fall.
fallen even more. But one of the reasons is we haven't played it. I still think it's a fantastic game. Obviously, I'm going to try my best, and I say this every time, do not say that about everything. This is a heavy game. This is a tight game. This is a game where everything feels bad until you do this little cool thing, or you manage to plan ahead and manage to do this thing you want to do. It feels amazing. And then winter comes in Lignum. Lignum, this is the second edition of Lignum, which is the worst. When I say worst, I mean best. One-way street experience in a board game. Because you want everything, and you don't just want everything, you need everything. And you are moving ahead on this road, and you're like, okay, but if I don't go there, that means you're going to take the saw, probably, and I really need a saw, but I also need that sledge, or if I don't have the sledge, I can't really take any lumber with me during winter. I can only take nothing, and then I will die, and I have to dry my things, and then you have these planning cards that you're planning ahead, and if you don't plan correctly, because you're gonna have this action that you want to do, and then you have to do that in two rounds. This action triggers, you have to plan very much ahead to be able to do that, and you have the bidding for the different acres of wood. You can think okay, do I want to be greedy and try to get a lot, but then you can try again and we don't get anything and everything. This is the feeling of the game.
Yes.
For 16 hours, it's not that long, but it is amazing and I love it.
Yeah, Lignum is, I think, one of the heaviest game experience I've ever had, but it's so good. My number 19 is Lignum.
Yay!
It was my number 9 last time.
I was thinking,
an exact
let's do the crossover
Yes.
dance for the ages. The thing is, I was thinking that you were starting to talk about this, usually we don't talk that much about things if we know we have it later. I was like, do you not have this on your list?
Yes,
and then it came and I was like,
I do.
I can breathe again. I still know who you are. Do you have anything to add?
No, it's just amazing. But you want to, if you're in for this game, you have to be okay with your brain getting melted because it's so hard. Then it's your number 19.
Yeah, but I have something to add.
Oh, you do?
This is an ad. Hello there, Sunniva.
Hello, Johannes.
Do you like board games?
Yes, I do.
Then you can buy them.
Okay,
And
cool.
also, there's this channel on YouTube called Board Gaming Ramblings that helps you know if you want to buy a game or not.
Cool.
Subscribe to them.
Yes.
It's fun.
Okay.
And it's free.
I'm going to do that right now.
And it makes you happy, like this. Back to the program. Number 19. My number 19 was not on the list. but it was kind of on the list. It was number 19 last time, but it was not on the list.
Okay.
Because this is Great Western Trail New Zealand,
Yeah.
and last time it was Great Western Trail. So I could have maybe like added more of them, but I didn't. So New Zealand is right now my favorite. Spoiler alert for other things where I say what is my favorite. Another video we're going to do is called Which Great Western Trail is My Favorite. It's a 1 second video.
Ranking the Great Western Trail
Yes,
games.
we're going to do ranking of the Fister games. That's
Yes.
a thing we want to do. Let us know if you want that. But yeah, Great Western Trail New Zealand. I love Great Western Trail.
Yeah.
I love Great Western Trail Argentina. And I love Great Western Trail New Zealand. I think all of these three games are taking a system and working it in different ways. New Zealand might not be the tightest, but right now it just feels good. Like it, the original might be the tightest and hardest and most punishing, and I often like that. But also New Zealand feels very nice. You're moving on these rivers. You're having some sheep this time, and also these like bonus cards, some deck building, just adding things in
like
there.
The bonus cards.
That makes it different, not as tight, but still a fantastic game that I like because it's on my top 20 of
Cool.
all time.
So this was kind of a placeholder for all the.
But it was Great
Trails,
Western
but
Trail
that one is
New
the
Great
best.
Western Trail New Zealand.
Yeah. My number 18 is Grand Austria Hotel.
Whoop,
And
whoop.
that has fallen a little bit. It was my number 14 last time, but it's in the same ballpark. This is an amazing dice drafting game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the best with two players. I think it
I
goes
agree.
really snappy, and
Yeah.
you're trying to get these hotel guests to eat at your hotel restaurant, and then lodge them into the correct room and get points basically. But you're trying to staff up, get strudel and cake and wine and coffee for your guests, and the dice drafting mechanism is really fun. If you don't want the dice, you can like pause and then everything gets re-rolled but fewer dice. I really like that mechanism in a game.
And you also get to place a die on the most useless, fantastic component in a game ever. It's like a garbage bin that is just this big.
In cardboard.
And we have our own Ziploc bag just for that in the game.
Yes.
The expansion does address the two-player, like there's a different way of playing the multiplayer game in
Yeah,
that, but we
that's
haven't
cool.
tried that. My number 18 was my number 3 last time. So there's like two things that dropped out of the top
Big
10.
changes.
And that is Bruxelles 1893. This is a great game. Like we recently did a review of the new version. This is kind of the new version.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really matter.
Belle
I love
Epoque.
both of them. I love the base game. And Belle Epoque is the one that you can get. So buy that because if you like any games like that we do, you're gonna like this game. And this is a super cool. I have said it this way before, and I'm gonna say it again because when I was taught this game, I was like, "Oh, okay, now we're done." No, there's a new mechanism, and there's a new mechanism, and there's a new mechanism. I was like, "This is never gonna work." And after one round, I ordered the game because it's like this is something that we need to have. And it's a worker placement game. Every round there's going to be different action spots available. That is one player that kind of decides which action spots are available. You're going to place your workers, but you're also going to place money with that worker, which is kind of a bid. So you are bidding on then rows or columns. I don't remember because I forgot them. Columns to get these bonuses. You also want to have a majority around like 4 spaces, and there's just like so many things you want to do. You want to upgrade your abilities. You want to play cards that give you bonuses that you can activate every round. So much going on, but at the same time, it just flows so well, and
Yes.
everything makes sense. Bruxelles,
Yes.
1893, 2,000 thumbs
Yeah, I
up in
agree.
the air.
It's an amazing game. My number 17 is a new addition to the list, and it's the White Castle.
Wow.
I just really
Yes.
fell in love with the White Castle. It's just my cup of tea. Sometimes I'm not into like playing those big 2.5 hour thinkiness games. I'm into that too.
Yes.
But this is so much game in a little time, and the rules is also very over. You can
Not overwhelming,
Yes, thank
easy.
you. Easy. So this is a game that I think will be in our collection forever. So it's like a new love for me, but I just feel like this is my jam. And yeah, we have done a review for it. Go check it out. I just love it to bits.
And also, there's an expansion that's going to come this year.
Yay, we're
And
getting that.
that's going to be an expansion we're actually going to get.
Cool.
My number 17 has fallen quite a bit. It was my number 16 last time. So it has fallen one space. And it's a game you don't like to play. Because it's too much work.
Oh, yeah.
It's Arkwright.
Yes.
Arkwright is... It's kind of like the Euro event game. You also have, of course, the Colonist, which is like 6-7 hours long. This is kind of like just like 1 or 2 hours less, so it's like 5 hours.
Oh,
but it's still like an
5 hours.
event game. Like it's not one that you get to play in a normal weeknight. It's one that you need to plan ahead to be able to play. But if you like dry Euros and you like them to be so punishing and so hard, very interactive, not in a haha take that way, but in a way where I can, if you do something stupid or try something too hard, I can basically say, you shouldn't have done that because now I'm going to do this and you're going to have a problem. Like, because you're trying to make, you're running these factories, you can build new factories, you're trying to make different commodities. There's like food, there's cutlery, there's lamps, like different things. And then you try to sell them. And the people who want them, like it goes up and down, the demand. So you try to sell them for a high price, but a low enough price so that you get to sell first. And you're doing all of these things to try to out with the other players and try to corner the market in a way that you get to sell your stuff, but you don't get to sell your stuff. Then you have these contracts. I remember a game where one player took a bit of a high contract and then somebody did something that made that impossible for them. And when you have a contract for sending something overseas, then if you don't give them the stuff they want, they're going to be like, that's fine, we just want more stuff next time. So you're going to be in that rut of trying to work so hard to get back into that. And there's so many cool mechanisms. I just love the game. It is, you have special powers, so many of them that you can play like widely different strategies. Yes, if you like these kind of, as I said, dry economic, it's like the quintessential economic Euro game. Like
Yes.
it is economy, Euro, the Euro game. It's completely beige. Like there's no colors in the game, and it makes my heart sing, and it makes me happy like this.
I was about to say that this feels like a Splotter game, but it's too beige to be a Splotter.
Yes.
But this is a hard monster of a game, and that's why I really like it, but I don't want to play it because it is too much work.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I feel like I've worked for 16 hours straight when I'm done with it.
And it's so fun.
Yay! My number 16 is Le Havre, and that was my number 13 last time. Le Havre is my favorite Uwe Rosenberg game.
Spoiler
Spoiler
alert for
alert.
Uwe Rosenberg. If you want the Uwe Rosenberg ranking list, let us know. Even though some of them are going to be in this video, you can go and check it out. But we're going to do it joint, so we're going to have to fight a bit.
Fight a little bit. Well, Le Havre is an amazing game. You have this really cool. You refill like the supplies that are available, the resources, and you want to fill them up for as long as possible, so that when you grab it, you have a lot of stuff. But then somebody else can grab it because you never know what's gonna happen. And every game, there's new like buildings available, so every game is going to feel very different. And when you play it, you're trying to like plan towards, okay, what is available this round? What can I build my strategy around? Which is really fun.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those games that you need to play multiple times because, as I said, like the buildings are going to come out in different orders. So every time it's going to be kind of a different. When are these buildings going to be available? When are these buildings going to be available? And it's one of those games like the first time you're going to play, you're going to feel like it's impossible to get points because you're only going to work at feeding your
getting
people
the food.
because you're going to need more food every single round. It's a game with one worker. You can work at other people's buildings. You can work on your own. There's so much fun stuff.
Yes.
My number 16 then was my number 13 last time, and it's gonna be Le Havre. So it's a perfect crossover.
That's so cool.
Sha-la-la, perfect crossover. Sha-la-la-la-la, boom.
I thought you looked weird at me, so
I look weird at you. Number 13, no, not 16, Le Havre.
16.
A fantastic game. I love it for the reasons that you love it. It is superb.
My number 15 was my number 11 last time, and it is Bora Bora. Bora Bora is a really tight Stefan Feld game. It feels very punishing because every turn you're rolling dice, and the higher dice is good because you get to do the actions better, but the lower dice gets you to actually do the actions. You place the die on specific action spaces, and if I've placed a 1 there, nobody else can go there. So it feels like you want to have the good actions, but again, if the action spaces are blocked, you can't use your actions for anything. And what I think is really cool is that the game kind of forces you to do things like all the way, because you get a lot of bonus points if you manage to do like all the stuff of one category, and you want to do it all, and then it feels so bad at the end of the game. You're just like, no, I'm one like thing from doing the thing that I get like 12 points for. But it's so fun.
Yeah, and we did play the new version, Cusco.
Yeah.
And it did change a few things that we liked better, but overall we liked Bora Bora as the better game for us.
That's true.
My number 15 was my number 12 last time, and that's going to be Nations. Nations is one that we had for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's been one that's been in the collection for many, many years, most years. It is like the nicer Euro, even more Euroer version of Through the Ages. Like, I'm pretty sure, if I don't remember wrong, that the designers of Nations played Through the Ages like, how can we do this without being mean? And then you played Nations, there's still some war, but you can like manage it in different ways, and it's not like attacking in that way. You've played Through the Ages on the app, but you haven't actually played the physical game. I played it once, and Nations for me is the choice. In different factions with different kind of starting abilities, it has this cool mechanism where you have workers, but you are kind of placing them on a card, and then you want them to stay there for as long as possible. You have to pay for them staying there, but then it's going to give you like abilities, but you're never going to have enough workers most of the time. So okay, so now I cannot work hard for that military, so now I have to move that away, and I will lose military power, but I will get this other ability, and just like it has this really cool card drafting, which is like the interaction of the game. So you are drafting these cards, you're placing the workers to try to manage and get the best resources, so that you can get more cards that are better. You get special like advisors that have special powers, and then all of this together makes it a very nice game. Of course, all about getting those victory points. There is an expansion that is pretty hard to get that we haven't gotten, but I would actually one of those. We don't play it enough, but it's one that I would like just to have because it's one of my favorite games.
Yes, I agree. My number 14 has actually risen from last time. It is Terraforming Mars, and it was my 23rd game last time.
What was our 14?
And now it's 14.
Wow.
That's true. So it risen like 9 spaces, which is really cool. I love Terraforming Mars. It has a little like these ups and downs. I like it more than you do.
Yes, obviously.
But like this is a game
Spoiler,
that
it's not going to be on my list.
And I'm like always having fun with. You have such a variety of cards, and it makes also like you're doing kind of the same stuff every time, but with the map expansions that we've got, with the prelude expansion, you get kind of like different focus areas each time, and the racing to get those milestones and awards is really cool. And just like it is a really fun, satisfying game to play, but you have to be cool with not getting the cards that you wanted. Yeah,
I think it's a great game. Like, it's one of those. It's not my favorite game, but still we played it like almost 20 times.
Yes.
So it is
And
obviously that I don't hate it. It's just not one I love to bits. My number 14 was my number 7 last time, and that is going to be Grand Austria Hotel.
Cool.
So this is a crossover on the video. Crossover. It's a crossover dance. Crossover dance. Boom. Grand Austria Hotel. Fantastic game. I just recently played it, and I was so happy because it was still as much fun. I even played it twice in a row. A super cool game. You weren't there. Sad. Boom. But it did super great. Like I'm saying, super duper mega great. Drafting dice, like everything you said basically. You're drafting dice, trying to do the best with what you can. It's a combo game. I love these combo games. You're trying to do the best you can and the most you can with few actions. So I want to grab a die that then gives me an action and maybe some resources that I can then place on a guest. And I can move that guest into a hotel room. And when I do that, I get to activate the ability of the guest. And that's going to give me a new action and maybe then gives me a new room so I can move this other guest in that gives me an action. And then I get to do a majority, or I get to fill in a whole different colored area, and that gives me some points or a bonus. And all of these things, trying to manage the resources, the money, the special powers, and all of this, trying to do the best you can, the most you can, makes it just like a truly amazing experience and one I will always love to play.
Yes. My number 13 has risen from 29 last time, but it is because it's a kind of a new game. It is Age of Innovation. So last time it was on the list, it was Terra Mystica. And I like Age of Innovation. Of course I do. It's
I think it's a fine game.
But I really like the changes that have been implemented in this new, like, Terra Mystica 2.0. And it is a very clever and very tight Euro game. You're trying to build buildings out on a map, and to do that you have to have the right terrain to build on it. And every building has, like, you can upgrade them, and then it gives you a different income. And everything is so expensive. And especially beginning, like, the turns go so quick because your turn is, I build one building, now I don't have resources left, I'm done. And then at the end of the game, you're trying to maximize it, trying to get the majority points, take those from the other players. And it's so satisfying when you actually get to achieve your plans, because this is a hard game to play, hard game to master. But I really like the new version, Age of Innovation.
I agree, 100%. My number 13 has never been on the list before.
Cool.
And it is Revive.
Nice.
Revive is like the designers. They told me, or Christian, he told me basically that they sat down. It started as, how can we make the perfect game? How can we make like something that has all the things we like in it and put it into a box? And for me, that's kind of what they've done. I like every single thing about this game. I just think that the card playing is really fun, exploring the map, trying to build out, blocking, trying to get to the corners, to get the scorings. All of it just makes it to end up being one that I just like have so much fun every time I played it. We played 6 times before we did a review. There's this campaign part which I don't like, but I like every single other thing about the game. And it's nearly the perfect Euro game for me in that kind of medium category. Adding the expansion adds like not things that are essential, but also makes it better. So the package, everything, love the game. Revive.
Yeah, it's an amazing game. It has been on my list already, but you know that because you've
Yes.
seen it all.
All of them.
Yes. And my number 12 is, it has kept its exact same position actually, but this time I'm calling it Great Western Trail New Zealand as well, because that also is my current favorite of them. But this includes them all, and I just like it because of all the reasons you mentioned. I think that when Great Western Trail first came out, I didn't like it as much because the original is really punishing. But these new editions with New Zealand and Argentina really gives me a little other angle on, yeah, the crossover dance. So, and that I'm happy with the changes they've done. But I still like the original game as well. You just have to be a little in the mood.
In the mood. Yes. I was
getting a lot of negative points.
I was waiting for the crossover dance. And you didn't remember until late. My number 12 has never been on the list.
Cool.
And it makes no sense. Because it should have been on the list. And
Yes.
when I saw that, like, I just saw it now on the list. I was like, that makes no sense. It might be a mistake, but I don't think it was on the list.
What game is this?
It's Bora Bora.
What?
Yes.
Hasn't it been on the list before?
Maybe other time, but not last time, which is weird.
What?
Because it's not my number 12. And it's for the reasons you said.
Yeah.
It's crossover time. We are crossing. Oh, we are interlocking. Can't get out. It's gonna be, oh, you're getting out. Bum, 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 crossing over for the dance. Pow. Just dance. I love it. All the reasons you said. Bora Bora, yeah, we spoke about it already, and I know you like us speaking about it. Speaking about it again. I love everything about it. The thing I like the most is the dice, because it's weird because I don't usually like dice, but I don't do it in many games. When you roll them, you kind of like, okay, I have too high. That's gonna be super cool. But then again, it might not be the best, because when I use my one high and then it's gonna be back to me again, it's like, oh, but you have placed lower die on all the actions I wanted to do, so now this is kind of useless. So the balance of, if you roll 3 6s, that's not gonna be good. But if you roll like a 6 and 3 and a 1, that's gonna be pretty cool. So you are kind of, it's that balance of you not wanting the higher ones. You have the God card, which I love, that you can do different actions and like manipulate the actions and manipulate the rules. And all of this mitigation makes the game even better.
Yes.
Love it to bits. I don't know, I must have been like kind of blind last time I made a list.
Yes,
I
I
don't
think
know
so.
what happened.
My number 11 was my number 7 last time, so it falls
7-Eleven.
of my top 10. I still really like it, but we haven't played it in a long while, and it's My City. I just really, really like My
That's
City.
high, yeah.
It's a game that I love these puzzle games. That is the main like red thread. That is not a thing. The common thing about my top 10
Yes.
to 100 is my love for the puzzles, and this is a game that I feel like I can just go again and
yeah.
again and again and again, because it's so addictive to me, because everyone has this map. And you have all these treachery minnow shapes, which are buildings in different color. And every time you like turn a card around, and everybody has to place that building. So it's about like planning ahead, like trying to see every possible outcome of it. So like when you're into the game, you're just like, oh, right now I can place this specific shape right here. And then it doesn't show up until the end. And then you've tried so hard to do this plan and it doesn't work. So satisfying when it does work. And it's kind of like, how many games is in the game again?
I don't remember.
I think it's like
24.
Yes, but we haven't played all of them.
Nope.
And I really want to do that.
My number 11 was my number 15 last time.
Cool.
And it is one that's kind of always a bit of a sore point to talk about, because it is Madeira. This is a game I am so happy I didn't sell my copy when we backed the new... I never do that, by the way, like for anything. Somebody I know, if like, for example, when the new La Granja Deluxe Edition, they backed that and then just sold the La Granja, I never do that. And not because really I'm afraid of the game not arriving, but just because I want to, if it's a favorite of mine and I back it again, it's going to be a favorite, I want to have it. And I want to have the other one, and then the other one can go. And sadly, that's not going to happen, it seems like, with Madeira, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the actual game, even though it makes me a bit sad to know that it's going to be hard for people to get, because it is a hard game to get. You have already had it on your list?
Yes.
It is a very heavy Euro game where you are, it's dice-based again. It's kind of weird. I'm saying I don't like dice, but I don't like with dice is like they're lucky, random rolling and hoping to get something fun. Madeira, you are drafting this set of dice with like a scoring opportunity. You are then using those dice to place in different actions depending on the areas. You want to have higher number on the die, but then you can also pay bread to be able to do the actions on the higher areas with a lower die. You have these pirate dice you can draft, but if you have too much pirate dice, you're going to get these pirate points, and you don't want to have too many of them at the end, because then you're going to lose quite a lot of points, and most of the time lose the game. So it's kind of like that balance. Okay, how many do you have? Then I can take like a couple more to hopefully stay in that. You are getting resources, using those resources to try to score these different scoring goals, moving ships, and sending things around, doing all the Euro stuff, but just in a way that makes my mechanical brain be like doopy-doopy-doopy-doopy-doopy-doopy-doopy, which are nice sounds that I like, and also make me look like this, which is my favorite way of looking when I play a big Euro game. So that is going to be that.
Play board games. It's so social.
Yes.
Sitting just like...
2.5 hours staring at the board.
Oh, you're also here. Cool.
We play social games other times, but not always. And that's going to be the end.
Yes.
Those are the top 20 to 11, which means there's only 10 more games. Yes. The actual top 10 board games of all time.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is.
you can see it soon. In just a few days, we're going to be on the channel and you can watch it. If you enjoy the stuff that we do here on the channel, then you can help us out in a very big way by giving us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
And that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye bye.